We have here a rhombus. So we have here rhombus hope. So the label of this rhombus is hope. And the opposite angles again of any rhombus, okay, are congruent. So therefore, we can equate the value of 7r minus 11 to 86, which is angle E. This is the given that the measurement of angle E is 86 degrees. But the value of angle POE is 7r minus 11. So it's not congruent to angle E yet, okay, because the measurement of angle E, this entire angle right here, this one is 86 degrees. But the 7r minus 11 is only POE. It doesn't include HOE or EOH. So what we have to do here, we have to use another property of a rhombus. So again, another property of a rhombus is that when it's diagonal, the diagonals intersect, okay, with the other side, they form two congruent angles. Okay, so this is going to be 7r minus 11. So it follows that this angle right here is going to be 7r minus 11 degrees, or quantity 7r minus 11 degrees. So we have two 7r minus 11s here. So that's just simply, so we can equate now, okay, since we have the two angles that we need, that we have to equate to 86 degrees. So that's going to be 2 times the quantity 7r minus 11 is equal to 86 degrees. Okay, so now we can solve for the value of r. So that's going to be 2 times 7r, that's going to be 14r, and 2 times 11, that's going to be negative 22, and it's equal to 86. Okay, so solving for the value of r, we have to transpose or transfer the value of 22 to the other side. So that's going to be 86 plus 22 is equal to 14r. And 14r is going to be 86 plus 22, so that's going to be 108. Okay, so the value here, guys, is 108 degrees. Okay, so 14r is equal to 108 degrees. Okay, and if you divide 14r, okay, if you divide 14r by 14, we're only going to be left with r. And if you divide 108 by 14, so what's 108 divided by 14? That's going to be 54 over 7. Okay, so the value of r is going to be 54 over 7, or 7.71. So there. So we now solve for the value of r. You just have to remember that when the diagonals are made here, the two angles that are created, so the two angles that are created when the diagonals bisect each other are congruent. Okay, so 7r minus 11 is of course congruent to 7r minus 11. And the value of r is 54 over 7. Okay, so if this is 86 degrees, guys, okay, so another property of a rhombus is that the adjacent angles, okay, the adjacent angles have to be supplementary. So if this 86 degrees, so what's the supplement of 86 degrees? So that's 94 degrees. Is that right? Because if we add 94 and 86, we get 180 degrees. Okay, so that's also the same measurement for angle P right there. So angle P also measures 94 degrees. Okay, and this one is 86 degrees. And if we substitute the value of r, okay, for here, for 7r minus 11, so that's going to be 7 times 54 over 7, so the 7 cancels out. If you multiply 7 and r, and the value of r is 54 over 7, so the 7 cancels out, and we're left with 54. And what's 54 minus 11? That's 43. Okay, so that's the measurement of angle POE, or angle PO. And since angle POE is the same with angle HEO, or angle, what do you call this? Angle EOH, okay, angle EOH, then they have the same measurement, so that's 43 degrees, so that's 43 plus 43, again, what's 43 plus 43? You get 86 degrees, which is also the measurement of angle E. Okay, so we have here our sixth problem, the rectangle. So we have here rectangle born, B-O-R-N. And we want to find the measurement of angle X and angle Y. Okay, so this one is going to be easy, guys. Okay, the perimeter here, guys, we have here a given, okay? So the perimeter for this triangle, okay, so let's say the perimeter for this triangle is about, let's say, around 82 units, okay? So let's try to find, okay, so let's try to find the measurement of the value of x and the value of y, and also the values of the side measurements, which are side OR and side OB. Okay, so first let's start with the angle. So how do we get the measurement, the value of x? So simply have to add 2x minus 18, so that's going to be, okay, so that's going to be 2x minus 18 plus 3x plus 23, okay, plus 23, 3x plus 23, if 3x plus 23 is equal to 90 degrees, okay, so it's equal to 90 degrees. The sum of those two angles is equal to 90 degrees, okay, so we have to add them, okay, 90 degrees. So we have to add these two angles, so it's going to be 2x plus 3x, okay, so 2x plus 3x, so that's going to be 5x is equal to 90. Okay, so we have here two constants, 18 and then 23. So that's minus 18, and if we transfer that to the other side, that's going to be plus 18. And then you have here positive 23, okay, plus 23, and if you transfer that to the other side, it's going to be minus 23. So what's 90? 90 plus 18 minus 23, so that's going to be 85. So 5x is equal to 85, okay? And when you divide by 5, okay, so the value of x is going to be 17, okay? So the value of x there is 17 degrees. And therefore, we can get the measurement of angle OBR, okay, angle OBR and angle, okay, angle OBR and angle RBN, and angle RBN. So angle OBR is 2 times 17 minus 18, and angle RBN is 3 times 17 plus 23. Okay? Okay, so that's going to be 2 times 17. 2 times 17 is equal to 34 minus 18, so that's going to be 16. So the measurement of angle OBR is 16 degrees, and the measurement of angle RBN is going to be 3 times 17, so that's going to be 51 plus 23, so that's going to be 74 degrees. And if you add the measurement of these two angles, 74 plus 16, you get 90 degrees. Okay. And then we have to solve for the value of y. So how do we solve for the value of y? Again, the perimeter of the rectangle is 82 units. Okay, so how do we solve for the value of y? So we have to identify or find the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle, which is equal to 2L plus 2 width. Okay, and our given length there is going to be 2 times 18y minus 12. So that's the length. Okay, okay, so to make it more formal, we can make the length 3y plus 9, okay, because it's more like a length, okay, it's kind of like the height, okay, the height of the rectangle, so 3y plus 9, okay, and then plus 2 times the width, which is 18y minus 12, okay, so that's going to be 2 times 3y, so that's going to be 6y, and then 2 times, okay, 2 times 9, that's going to be 18, okay, plus 18, and then plus 2 times 18y, so that's going to be 36y, and then 2 times negative 12, that's going to be negative 24, okay, so it's equal to 82. Okay, so 6y, okay, 6y plus 36y, so that's going to be 42y is equal to, okay, so that's going to be 42y is equal to, okay, so we have here 18, okay, so that's going to be we have here 82, 82 there, 82, and then we have here plus 18, and since we're going to transfer it to the other side, that's going to be minus 18. Okay, and then we have here 2 times, okay, let's just make sure. So this is going to be 12. Okay, 12 times 2 is going to be 24. So that's going to be minus 24. And if you transfer that to the other side, that's going to be plus 24. Okay, so that's going to be 42y. Okay, 42y is equal to, so that's going to be 82. Okay, 82. Okay, 82 minus 18 plus 24. Okay, 82 minus 18 plus 24, so that's going to be 88. Okay, so the value of y is going to be 42y. Okay, 42y is equal to 88. Okay, and if we divide 42, if we divide 42y by 42, so we get y is equal to 88 over 42. Okay, 88 over 42 or 44 over 21. Okay, so the value of y is 44 over 21. Okay. Okay, so we have here the value of y is equal to 44 over 21. So we just simply substitute that to 18y minus 12. So we get 18 times 44 over 21 minus 12. And the answer is going to be 180 over 7 or 25.71. And then we substitute the value of y to 3y plus 9. So that's going to be 3 times 44 over 21 plus 9. So that's going to be 107 over 7 or 15.29. And if we multiply that by 2, okay, to solve for the perimeter, since we want to check if our answer is correct, so we multiply 25.71 times by 2 and 15.29 by 2. So that's going to be 51.42 and 30.58. And if we add these two values, you get 82. Okay, so the value, okay, the total value is going to be 82 degrees. Okay, 82 units. Okay, so the total units, okay, the total units of rectangle born is 82 units. Okay, so last we have a square problem and we want to find the value of x. Okay, since the square TOMS, okay, angle TOMS, okay, we want to find the value of x. So how do we do that? So there's a diagonal there, there's a diagonal SO. So since the diagonal bisects, again it bisects the angle, okay, so angle S, that means there are actually two 4x minus 11 angles for angle x. So that's going to be 2, okay, 2 times 4x minus 11 is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, it's equal to 90 degrees because of this angle right there. So that's going to be 2 times 4x, so that's going to be 8x, and 2 times negative 11, that's going to be negative 22 is equal to 90. So 8x is going to be equal to 90 plus 22. Okay, so 8x is equal to 90 plus 22. So that's going to be 112. Okay, and if you divide that by x, you divide that by 8, you're going to get the value of x. So x is equal to 112 over 8 is 14. Okay, so there you go, the value of x is 14 degrees. And if you substitute, okay, so if you substitute the value of x here to 4x minus 11, okay, so if you substitute the value of x to 4x minus 11, you're going to get 4 times 14 minus 11. Okay, so that's 4 times 14 is 56 minus 11, you get 45 degrees. And there you go. So that means if you multiply that by 2, you get 90 degrees, which is the measurement of angle S. Okay, so what if we are given a quadrilateral that's on a Cartesian plane? Okay, so we have here a quadrilateral YOL. Okay, it's given its coordinates. Y has a coordinate of 1 and 1. O has a coordinate of 3 and 6. L has a coordinate of 6 and 5. And E has a coordinate of 4 and 2. So using the distance formula, we can solve for the perimeter of this quadrilateral given on a Cartesian plane. So we can find the measurements of the different segments by just using the distance formula. The distance formula is given by the equation d is equal to the square root of quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus the quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, so let's try to solve for the values of YO, OL, LE, and EY. Okay, so given that the first ones here are the x sub 1, okay, and y sub 1, and this one is the x sub 2 and then the y sub 2. So let's try to use the formula to solve for the values. So we have here our x sub 2 is going to be 1 for y sub 1, or for YO. Our x sub 2 here, so d is equal to the square root of x sub 2. So what's our x sub 2 here? So that's 6. Okay, and our x sub 1, our x sub 2 is going to be 3. Okay, 3. And our x sub 1 is going to be 1. Okay, and then squared, and then plus, what's our y sub 2 here? Our y sub 2 is going to be 6. And our y sub 1 is going to be 1. Okay, and then squared. Okay, and there you go. We can now solve for the value of the distance formula. So that's going to be 3 minus 1, so that's going to be 2. Okay, so that's going to be 2 squared, and then plus, so what's 6 minus 1? So that's going to be 5. Okay, 5 squared. So that's going to be, okay, 4. Okay, 4, 2 squared is 4, and then 5 squared is 25. Okay, so it's going to be 25. So side YO, okay, side YO actually measures square root of 29. Okay, square root of 29, square root of 29 units. Okay, there you go. Okay guys, so if we continue solving for the distance of line segment OL, the value for the distance of line segment OL, the distance for line segment LE, and the distance for the line segment EY. So you're going to get the value square root of 10, square root of 13, and square root of 10 respectively, still using the distance formula. And if we add all of these values, square root of 29 plus square root of 10 plus square root of 13 plus square root of 10, you get the perimeter of quadrilateral YOL, and that's going to be 15.32 units. So that's simple. Okay, so have you ever wondered where this distance formula came up? D is equal to the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus the value of y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, so if you look at here at our Cartesian plane, we can try to use the Pythagorean theorem to prove for this formula. So if you can see here, the measurement of this side, so let's call it side A. So that's going to be x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And the measurement of this side is going to be side B. So that's going to be y sub 2 minus y sub 1. And if we try to put that here in our value, so that's going to be the value of x sub 2 minus x sub 1, or the distance of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared, plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared is equal to, c squared. So what's our c squared? So that's going to be the distance, so that's going to be d squared. And since d is squared, you just have to get the square root of this value, and therefore you arrive at the formula right there.